from AL.com, hanging out with Christian Roshell and Rose Simon today. And first of all, guys, thank you so much for joining us. And these guys got quite an impressive resume. I'll give you a little bit of the backstory here. Christian is from Tuscaloosa, and then you got Ro based out of Houston. Both of these guys are trainers that work with some of the top athletes in the country. So these guys are getting down and dirty, getting to work with a lot of these athletes, helping them prepare for the next stage, for the next phase, preparing them to get out on the football field when the time comes. So again, guys, thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thanks for having us.
So you guys have had the opportunity to work with several Alabama football players, former and current, and I guess upcoming players, as we've seen from some videos that have been tweeted out here in recent weeks. And first and foremost, I'll start with you, Ro, there on, I guess, my left, right? Everyone's left. I'm trying to figure this out here. So, Ro, I'll start with you. Give us a little background and, sort of where you got started and kind of what you got going on in terms of your business and your training.
Yeah, thank you. Thanks for having me. But I'll get straight to it. Just created a program focused on the grassroots level. Was able to, work with Jalen Waddle, when he was like a sophomore. And that kind of, brought me to be able to train here in Alabama and connect with the right people. Just basically in a nutshell.
And so, Ro, you obviously do some work with 7-on-7 as well. Is that correct?
Yes. Yeah, so I have a Are you there?
Yep, I'm here. We got a little technical glitch there. That's what happens when you get online here. You got to rely on the wireless signals that sometimes like to hang up a little bit. So you do obviously some 7-on-7 work. What about you, Christian?
Well, I'm from Tuscaloosa. Took a few classes at the University of Alabama. That's where I met a lot of the guys that I ended up working with because I wanted to coach, but I figured that wouldn't be the route for me because Saban is such a perfectionist that I wouldn't be able to fulfill those requirements. So I want to do things on my own, teach it my own way. But from Tuscaloosa, started off with a couple walk-ons who eventually made it to the NFL, which is Levi Wallace and Derek Gore. And that's what allowed me to get into position to meet guys like Jalen Waddle, which led to me meeting, of course, my guy to the right.
Awesome. And of course, we've got the live comments coming in. So if anybody has any questions for these guys, feel free to chime in and I'll pick a couple of those questions out. But Ro and Christian, obviously you guys, I love what you said, Christian, about, Nick Saban, the perfectionist. But look, I think that sometimes your jobs as trainers flies under the radar because I think it's so important, to get these guys ready to go. And especially the ones that are transitioning from high school to college ball, because there's such a vast difference in the two and preparing them for that. Well, now even more than ever, we're in this unprecedented time with the COVID-19 and trying to implement those social distancing rules and all that. So there's so much that goes into this, but just for our viewers, first and foremost, if you can give us an outline of sort of how these workouts are going. As I understand it, you guys are working out at the band practice fields over at Alabama. So just give us a little bit of intel on how these workouts go.
Yeah, so right now we're in the final phase because we predicted that, around this time, those guys will be back going to the volunteer workouts with their team. So the primary focus at first was just essentially get those guys together, work with them, tailor the needs to position specific. And then now, we in a more competitive stage. That's where you see the one-on-ones and, guys being able to get in front of each other and compete. So as you see on the video, it's close to the season now. So essentially these guys will be getting ready to prepare for the season, getting close to fall camp. So we want to try to tailor the workouts and everything we was doing to something that they'll do at their particular program.
Yeah, so of course you see Javon Baker there, Malachi Moore out there playing DB, and Devontae Smith. We've seen some of those videos circulating around Twitter. Matt Zenitz has also tweeted those out. So it's kind of interesting. So you work with specific, position groups and kind of getting that implemented. So is this something where how many days a week is this going on and how long are each of the practice sessions typically?
5 days a week, an hour and a half each session.
Okay. And so you kind of work specifically with groups, and I assume during those 5 days a week, you're probably doing multiple sessions in a given day.
Yeah, maybe like 4 or 5 sessions. So we're out there
Okay.
maybe 7 to 8 hours out the day.
Woo! So you got your
Yeah.
hands full. And now, of course, we're about to enter, as you know, we're entering into this Alabama heat. I don't know about you, Ro, there in Houston. I've been to Texas a couple of times, but I can't really say that I can compare it to this Alabama heat. But as you guys know, this is that time of year where things are starting to heat up. We're seeing that 90-degree temperature. So I imagine that's been kind of fun for you guys, having to implement the hydration as well as obviously the workouts and everything else.
Yeah, throughout that I workout, we'll work out like 15 minutes and then we'll give them like a 5-minute grace period to like hydrate and stuff like that and cool down because it's kind of hot out here. Obviously, it's way hotter in Houston, but it's easy for me. But you got to try to keep moderation because you're on the turf field and all those variables, come in place whenever we working with those guys, trying to make sure they're healthy and stuff like that. So it's all good.
Yeah, you got to toughen them up, right?
Right,
get them ready to go. And again, so this is obviously, I know we talk about the presence of COVID-19 kind of changes things a little bit, but, really these are the kind of workouts guys, minus the presence of COVID-19 would be doing during the summer months, obviously preparing them, getting them ready, for that transition, whether it's a current football player, a current guy, or someone that's coming in from high school. So, in terms of the workouts, like what are some things you said, like you're kind of in your second phase, what are some things that we're seeing in terms of drills that are really important at this phase?
Right now, making sure the quarterback get the, work with the receivers right now. Just building that camaraderie, building that togetherness and the brotherhood for those guys to like be on the same page. And for the defensive backs that we work with on a day-to-day basis, those guys getting together, working on communication, working on some of the freshmen just coming in, seeing the older guys get out there and just, teaching them. That's the Alabama way. I love it.
And Christian, I guess, you're a Tuscaloosa guy, obviously, been around these parts for quite some time. I guess, could you point out what might be different this year, or are things pretty similar to years previous, with COVID-19 kind of being present and as we're phasing into, this new phase of life, I guess?
The only difference is the guys are doing it with us. That's the only difference. They can't, the facilities are closed due to COVID-19, so they're doing with us. They need someone to help them take charge in terms of 7-on-7, 1-on-1s, things of that nature. So that's the only difference. But this has been going on for some time.
Yeah, that's awesome. And so you guys are obviously kind of at the forefront of being able to guide these workouts. And to your point, the camaraderie, because I think that's going to be a big, a big point of emphasis. And you hear Nick Saban talk about it all the time, and really coaches in general. When you do make that transition, or you've taken this amount of time off, spring ball didn't happen, right? So what have you seen from these guys in terms of that transition? These guys didn't get a chance to play spring ball, or haven't really had a chance for that one-on-one physical contact. So what has been sort of the biggest difference you've seen in that regard, and how have you seen those guys transition to being able to finally have some of that physical contact?
Yeah, it was like lightning in a bottle. Like those guys, we working out like 45 days straight, sometimes 2 or 3 workouts in a day. So for these guys to be able to implement, getting in front of somebody and competing, like, it was very, very good to see those guys come out and, get on the field and work with somebody that essentially is probably not at the same school, because we have group workouts where different colleges work out together. So those guys are getting to compete. It's all fun, but, it's a lot of competition in there.
And the guys are hungry. They're hungry. They're hungry. They're very hungry, and they ready to play football. They're ready. A lot of guys talk about how they missed a lot of developmental time because they missed spring. So that's why it's so important to try to get that competition with guys from other schools, because they get tired of going against each other. They know what each other are going to do. They picked up tendencies on one another. So those group sessions, they're important because it helps them compete with other people.
Yeah, so imagine this has been a lot of fun for you guys too. You talk about that lightning in a bottle. I mean, it's suddenly like, okay, it's go time. You're kind of anticipating this opportunity for when we get to sort of re-enter into the world in this new normal that we're facing. And now it's like, boom, it's go time. I guess with some of the players that you guys have out there, some of the current Alabama players, maybe former players, who are some guys that have really impressed you as of late?
Well, I want to start with John Mechie.
Oh, man.
Yeah, he's going to be a guy that's going to, be on the scene. He's going to make a big impact this year for the Crimson Tide. I'm excited about his game, his attention to detail, everything about him. Like, it's thumbs up for a
guy. Who else is on your radar that's been out there flying around?
I like Ziggy. Xavier Williams. Ziggy is really good. Ziggy's really good. He's going to make some plays this year. I definitely believe he will.
And I know. Go ahead. Keep going.
Bryce Young. Everybody keep an eye on Bryce Young.
Definitely a guy.
He has a talented arm. I think he has generational talent. Like, the guy is very accurate. He's played that way for most of his whole life, and I think Alabama fans should be excited for him.
Definitely.
So what are some things you're seeing from him that really has impressed you in terms of his skill set and his mechanics?
Ball placement is number one. I just want to say that part. His ball placement is amazing. He puts the ball in only spaces where the receiver can get it.
Yeah, even when you are covered, you're open when Bryce is throwing the football. Very accurate, leads by example, understands, his job. And I think there's going to be some good things coming out in the near future for this guy.
Now, do you have some current guys that are out there working out with you guys right now?
What'd you say? You broke up a little bit?
Do you have any current guys that are working out with you right now? Current Alabama players, returning guys, sophomores, juniors, seniors?
Yeah, we'll start with Jalen Waddle. I'll let you go first.
No, go. Jalen Waddle, like he said, Jalen Waddle, that speed is real. But what makes him so dynamic is he's not just fast, he can actually run routes. As you can see on the video here, he's good with body control. He's good with his feet. He understands leverage. He's just all around great athlete.
Devontae Smith, very smooth. He's a veteran. Obviously been in the program. He's probably the longest tenure receiver in the program. This guy understands, coverage and what the defensive back's trying to do to him. He has tools. I love his game.
So, of course, there's, no surprise. Alabama fans certainly excited for those guys to make their return and, be a part of the Crimson Tide this year. From your standpoint, there is no spring ball. A lot of these guys are kind of having to start from a fresh slate, implementing, obviously, these workouts. What do you think the most important and critical thing is for these players to do right now in this interim period before they do step on the field for fall camp?
Just the mental grind. It's so important. A lot of these guys are athletic. A lot of these guys are talented, but, we try to just help those guys, with their mental, making sure they understand, what's in front of them. It's an important season for the Alabama Crimson Tide, and everybody needs to do their job. So mentally, physically, we combine those two, and we're operating at a high frequency. I think you'll get a greater product.
Right.
And I guess, obviously, how long do you anticipate these workouts to continue? Do you guys have a game plan from here on out? Because these really just started. When did you guys start these workouts, and when do you anticipate sort of wrapping them up?
Well, today will be the first day they'll go work out today. So we'll kind of see exactly what they're going to do. We're going to talk to those guys, figure out exactly what they're in a program they're going to start today. And we'll kind of figure out, if there's any space for us to be able to help, put a workout together. But if not, we'll just fall back.
Gotcha. Okay. So basically these workouts have been taking place these past couple of weeks. And, now I guess the workouts, they're able to go back on campus when the facility's open and be able to do that. But hopefully you guys can continue implementing some of these workouts with them on the side. Is that the plan?
Yeah. Just figure out, because I'm assuming that they're going to get in the weight room and then they'll do some conditioning. So if there's any space or any room for us to be able to, add something for them, we'll do it. But if not, we'll kind of let them rest up and, we'll just take it day by day.
And Christian, I'll ask you, as a Tuscaloosa guy and somebody that's been around these Alabama football players for quite some time, what kind of excites you about this upcoming season and some of the guys that you've seen thus far kind of go to work?
Like I said earlier, I was hungry. Like, I haven't seen this side of Alabama football players for a long time. Like, these guys are hungry. They're excited about the upcoming season. And the biggest thing is they haven't missed any work. Like, that's the biggest thing. Like, say me and Ro are exhausted from the day before, and we made, like, all right, we're going to do something later. Now, man, we need you here now. Let's do it now. Let's do it now. I don't want to wait till later. Those are the things that make me excited about this upcoming season. The guys are hungry, and they're taking the initiative to get better.
So you're obviously seeing guys that are coming out there not missing a beat and wanting this just as bad, if not more, than the next guy beside them. So when they obviously do return to the field, hopefully there won't be that big gap or that lapse that, some are concerned about, because I think there are some of those things that we're all concerned about is, the injuries and our guys in shape. And, when you take time off, they often say sometimes you take a week off, it takes 3 weeks to get back to where you started. So how do you think these workouts have really sort of helped with that transition and getting them ready in the minds of the Alabama coaching staff?
Yeah, that's been a primary focus initially, just to make sure these guys maintain. Okay, we just want to just come in without professionalism, and we didn't want to do too much. Okay, most of these guys on a Monday through Friday schedule, they play on the weekends, on a Saturday, so we kind of kept it like that. Monday we'll, focus on conditioning, and we'll get in the weight room, and then we'll get on the field. So by the time Friday comes, like we can just go ahead and tailor our workout to specific needs. Okay, if you've been not doing so man coverage, we'll work on Friday. We'll put you in front of a receiver and kind of just evaluate you, and then we'll go over and we'll watch film with these guys. We did, it's been good.
All right, Rose. So I got to ask you, you're a Houston guy. How much longer are you going to be in Tuscaloosa? Are you sticking around for a while, or are you heading back to Houston soon?
I'll be back in Houston tomorrow. I'll fly into Houston tomorrow. I won't miss a beat. We'll be working tomorrow in Houston, and I'll be in California for the weekend. Then I'll be coming right back into Tuscaloosa.
So what has been the best experience for you in Tuscaloosa? Have you gotten to eat any of the good food? I know restaurants obviously have opened back up. What's been your favorite place to eat?
Well, if I had to rate the food 1 to 10, the food was bad. I'll give it a 2. But the most exciting part about this experience, getting to go to the lake and, kind of wind down and let, get off. Because it's like essentially we working really, really hard and we focus and, getting to go on the lake and get on the jet skis and ride the boat. It's been real, real soothing for me. But the food hasn't been well.
Oh, that's disappointing to hear. Well, again, things are opening back up. So maybe you'll have to come back and experience it when things are, alive and well and thriving again. But it sounds like you've enjoyed your time. It sounds like Christian has hopefully done his part in showing you around and making sure you the lay of the land in Tuscaloosa. So that's good. Any final thoughts from either one of you before we let you go?
Yeah. All right. Patrick Surtain, dude is phenomenal. I love his game.
Great.
I love everything he's saying about.
Great.
He's going to do great things this year.
I love it. Any takes for you there, Christian?
Roll Tide.
All right, you heard it from them. Christian and Ro, thank you guys so much for your time. We appreciate your expertise. Maybe one of these days I'd get out there and try to put in a workout or two. I've been slacking a little lately, but I got to get back out there and start grinding a little bit, make sure I'm in tip-top shape when football season rolls around. Because I'll tell you what, it's a grind getting on the road every week, having to make sure you stay healthy, eat right, you do all those things, because being on the sidelines, man, it's a tough deal sometimes.
Yeah, it's all mental. It's mental.
Yep, got to keep it going. All right, guys. Well, thank you again so much. We appreciate it. All the best to you. And of course, if you want to find these guys on Twitter, you got, what is it? I'm trying to look at my screen here. Ro Simon Jr. That's right, Ro Simon Jr. And then of course you can go to Elite D Training as well to see Christian there and some of the work that he's been doing and following all you guys. And we appreciate it. So y'all take care. All the best to you. Safe travels, and we'll catch up again soon.
All right. Thanks, Lauren.
Thank you.